Imagine a world where climate solutions are guided by a clear understanding of emissions. When it comes to climate change, CO2 is often the star villain, but methane has carved out its own spotlight, particularly due to its association with livestock farming. Many environmental narratives frame livestock as a leading contributor to global warming because of methane emissions. But is this portrayal entirely accurate? Or are we missing the broader context by focusing too narrowly on methane, while overlooking how different greenhouse gases actually behave in the atmosphere? Let's explore why livestock might not be the environmental villain it's often made out to be. To understand methane's impact, it's crucial to examine its lifespan compared to CO2. Methane, or CH4, has a warming potential up to 86 times greater than CO2 over a 20-year period, making it a powerful greenhouse gas. However, methane has a relatively short atmospheric lifespan, breaking down within 10 to 12 years into CO2 and water. In contrast, carbon dioxide persists in the atmosphere for hundreds to thousands of years, contributing to a cumulative warming effect. While methane's short-term impact is intense, its influence fades over time, unlike the lasting consequences of CO2. Methane emissions from livestock are part of the biogenic carbon cycle, a natural process that continuously recycles carbon through plants, animals, and the atmosphere. Plants absorb CO2 from the air during photosynthesis, storing it as carbohydrates. Grazing livestock consume these plants and release methane as a byproduct of digestion. After about a decade, this methane breaks down into CO2 and water, which plants reabsorb to restart the cycle. Unlike fossil fuel emissions, which accumulate and disrupt the carbon balance, methane from livestock operates within a renewable system that stabilizes over time. While methane has captured significant attention, CO2 poses the real long-term threat to our planet's climate. Carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels accumulates in the atmosphere, creating a warming effect that doesn't dissipate. Unlike methane, which is part of a natural cycle, CO2 emissions from fossil fuels are a one-way addition to the atmospheric carbon load. This persistent buildup underscores the importance of focusing on CO2 reduction as a key climate priority. Livestock farming contributes to global methane emissions, but how significant is this compared to other sectors? Estimates suggest livestock accounts for about 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, including methane. Meanwhile, the energy sector, driven by fossil fuel combustion, remains the largest source of emissions worldwide. Additionally, natural sources like wetlands also emit methane as part of the biogenic cycle, much like livestock. However, the difference lies in the renewable nature of these emissions compared to the accumulative impact of fossil fuel-derived CO2. Highlighting livestock emissions without acknowledging the larger role of energy-related CO2 can misrepresent the true scale of the problem. While methane emissions from livestock are not the primary driver of climate change, innovative strategies can help reduce their impact further. Dietary changes for livestock, such as incorporating fats or specific types of seaweed into their feed, have been shown to reduce methane emissions by up to 30%. Improved manure management practices can capture methane to produce biogas, a renewable energy source that offsets CO2 emissions from fossil fuels. Rotational grazing enhances soil health and promotes carbon sequestration, demonstrating that livestock farming can contribute positively to environmental efforts. These advancements highlight the potential for livestock farming to evolve and align with sustainable practices. Effectively addressing climate change requires focusing efforts where they will have the most impact. Reducing CO2 emissions by transitioning to renewable energy and minimizing fossil fuel use is critical to tackling the primary drivers of long-term warming. While mitigating methane emissions is important, the real challenge lies in addressing persistent CO2 emissions, which have a much longer-lasting effect on the planet. Prioritizing CO2 reduction ensures that our climate strategies target the root cause of global warming, rather than just its short-term contributors. The narrative that frames livestock as a major climate villain oversimplifies a complex issue. Methane emissions from livestock are part of a renewable natural carbon cycle that balances itself over time. In contrast, CO2 emissions from fossil fuels lack this balance, accumulating in the atmosphere and driving long-term warming. By understanding the differences between methane and CO2, we can develop informed, balanced climate strategies that address the full scale of the problem. Livestock farming, especially when managed sustainably, plays a role in the conversation about climate change, but should not bear disproportionate blame when larger, more persistent culprits like fossil fuels are at play. Now more than ever, it's essential to look at the big picture and approach climate solutions with a comprehensive understanding of emissions. By shifting the focus from oversimplified blame to informed strategies, we can work toward meaningful progress in combating climate change. The next time you hear livestock framed as the primary cause of global warming, remember, there's more to the story, and real solutions lie in addressing the most significant and persistent contributors to climate change. If you found this exploration insightful, share this video and join the conversation about tackling climate change effectively. Subscribe for more deep dives into critical environmental topics, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we can build a more informed, sustainable future.